The little boy kept counting the apples because it was easier than watching his mother cry. 1, 2, 3. His voice was barely louder than the buzzing fluorescent lights above aisle 7. Behind the register, Hannah Brooks forced a smile at the growing line of customers, while secretly wiping tears from beneath her eyes every few seconds. Most people didn't notice. Americans had become experts at pretending not to see pain in public places, but one man did notice. He stood quietly near the end of the checkout lane wearing faded jeans, a gray hoodie, and a baseball cap pulled low over his forehead. To everyone else, he looked like another tired customer stopping by after work. No one knew the man was actually Nathan Cole, CEO of one of the largest grocery chains in the country, worth billions, and currently spending 3 weeks undercover visiting his own stores after complaints about employee treatment and declining customer trust. Nathan had expected to find inefficiency, bad management, careless workers. Instead, he found a cashier trying not to break apart in front of strangers. "You okay?" asked the woman ahead of him in line. Hannah straightened immediately. "Yes, ma'am. Sorry. Long day," but her voice cracked on the last word. The customer soft. "Honey, you should go home." "I can't." The answer came too quickly. Nathan watched Hannah scan canned soup, cereal boxers, and milk with trembling hands, while occasionally glancing toward the entrance like she expected someone terrible to walk through the doors. Then he noticed the little boy sitting beside the register on a folding stool, 7 years old, maybe, skinny, quiet, trying very hard to stay invisible. A child should not have looked that exhausted. "That your son?" Nathan asked gently when his turn arrived. Hannah looked startled, almost defensive. "Yes, he should probably be home." As her face tightened with embarrassment. "I know." The boy looked down instantly, ashamed for existing there. Nathan felt something twist painfully inside his chest. "What's your name, buddy?" he asked. "Ellie. Ellie, you helping your mom tonight?" Eli nodded. "I count things so she doesn't feel alone." Nathan stopped breathing for half a second. The words hit harder than they should have, because children weren't supposed to understand loneliness that deeply. Hannah quickly finished scanning Nathan's groceries. "Your total is $43.70. Nathan handed her cash but didn't move away. "You're scared," he said quietly. Her eyes widened, then immediately filled again. Customers shifted awkwardly behind him. For a moment, Nathan thought she might deny it. Instead, her shoulders collapsed, and suddenly, she whispered the sentence that changed everything. "My manager says if I miss one more shift because of my son's hospital visits, I'll lose my job." Silence. Even the people in line stopped moving. Nathan stared at her carefully. "Hospital visits." Hannah nodded, struggling to stay composed. "Eli has a heart condition. I'm trying to save enough for surgery, but insurance denied part of it," and her voice broke completely. "I'm doing everything I can." Eli reached over and touched her arm. "It's okay, Mom. No child should ever have to comfort a parent like that." Nathan glanced around the store slowly. Bright sale signs, holiday decorations, music playing overhead. Meanwhile, one of his employees was standing beneath all of it, drowning quietly, while corporate reports probably described this location as high-performing. "How much is the surgery?" Nathan asked. Hannah shook her head immediately. "I'm not asking for money." "I didn't say you were." She swallowed hard. "Too much. Tell me. Anyway, 200,000. The number landed heavily between them. Nathan could have written a check for that amount without noticing it missing, but the realization didn't comfort him. It disgusted him, because the company he built proudly advertised itself as family, while one of its own workers was choosing between employment and her child's survival. A man behind Nathan muttered impatiently, "Come on. Some of us want to get home." Nathan turned slowly, and for the first time in years, he felt furious in a way money couldn't solve. He paid for his groceries, picked up the bags, then looked back at Hannah. "What time does your shift end?" She blinked. "Midnight. I'll wait." "You don't have to do that." "I know." Then he walked toward the small diner across the parking lot. Hannah assumed he was just being kind. Maybe lonely, maybe strange. People made promises all the time when emotions got involved. Most disappeared afterward. So when midnight finally came, and she walked Ela outside into the freezing December air, she nearly cried again, seeing the same man still sitting there in the diner window, waiting. Nathan stood as they approached. "You actually stayed," Eli said. Nathan smiled slightly. "Told you I would." Hannah looked exhausted. Why? He thought about lying. Instead, he sighed. "Because 20 years ago, my mother worked double shifts at a grocery store while trying to pay for my father's cancer treatment." Hannah froze. Nathan rarely spoke about his childhood publicly. The trailers, the debt collectors, the nights his mother skipped meals pretending she wasn't hungry. "I remember watching her cry in break rooms because she thought I couldn't hear," he continued softly. "I remember customers yelling at her over coupons while she was falling apart inside." Eli listened carefully. "And your dad?" "And your dad?" the boy asked. Nathan looked down. "He died." "I'm sorry." Nathan smiled sadly. "Me, too." For several seconds, none of them spoke. Then Hannah quietly said, "I still don't understand why you waited." Nathan reached into his pocket and removed a simple black company ID card. Her eyes dropped to the name, then widened in horror. "Nathan Cole, CEO." She nearly stumbled backward. "Oh my God. I'm not here to get anyone in trouble," he said quickly. But Hannah looked terrified now. "I complained about management twice," she whispered. "If this is because of that, it's not." You're really the CEO?" Eli looked impressed. "Like the boss?" "Boss?" Nathan laughed softly. "Something like that." Hannah's face turned bright red with humiliation. "I am so sorry if I looked unprofessional tonight." That sentence broke Nathan's heart more than anything else had. Even now, after everything, she thought she needed to apologize. "You were caring for your child," he said firmly. "There's nothing unprofessional about being human." Her eyes filled again. Nathan took a slow breath, then made a decision that would later become national news. "No employee of mine should ever have to choose between work and their child's life." Hannah stared at him silently. "So here's what's going to happen," he continued. "Tomorrow morning, our corporate medical fund will cover Eli's surgery entirely." She stopped breathing. "What? What? And you'll receive 6 months paid leave." Tears rolled instantly down her cheeks. "No. No. No. That's impossible." It isn't. Eli looked between them, confused. Does that mean Mom won't cry anymore? Nathan looked at the little boy carefully. I hope so. Hannah covered her mouth with both hands as sobs overtook her. Not graceful crying, not quiet. 'Tis the kind that comes from carrying fear too long. Nathan stepped closer awkwardly. Hey! It's okay. But she shook her head violently. No one ever helps people like us, she whispered. The words hit him harder than any business failure ever had. People like us. As if kindness belonged only to certain income levels. As if struggling families were expected to survive alone. Nathan looked around the parking lot, at exhausted workers leaving late-night shifts, at tired parents loading groceries into old cars, at ordinary people carrying invisible battles every day, and suddenly, he realized something devastating. His company had spent years studying profit margins, while forgetting the humans creating them. 3 weeks later, Hannah sat beside Eli's hospital bed holding his hand after a successful surgery. Snow fell softly outside the window. For the first time in months, her son looked peaceful, healthy, alive. A quiet knock came at the door. Nathan stepped inside carrying a small paper bag. You brought terrible hospital coffee again, didn't you? Hannah asked.